Hi, everyone. My name is Valerie Friedlander, and I'm your host for Motherhood Unlimited, the #1 summit for moms who want it all. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. It is our mission to take the limits off motherhood and to empower moms to have it all for their own unique and vibrant life. We believe that when moms learn to create where, who, and how they want to be on their mom life adventure, their happiness and overall life satisfaction increases, and they become inspired and inspirational for their children and each other. Today, we are talking about family and business. Take your relationship from permission to partnership. Our expert is Shayla Boyd-Gill. I invited her to share with you because of her work supporting women around the money concept when following their dream. Thank you so much for being here, Shayla.
Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Shayla. From bankruptcy to multiple six-figure earner, Shayla Boyd-Gill, the money freedom architect, is an extraordinary and proven business coach and certified profit-first professional who shows family-centered women entrepreneurs how to have it all, family, freedom, and influence while doing what they love. Ooh, that's awesome. That's exactly what we're about here.
Yeah.
So she helps her clients to restructure their business and lives so that they have the freedom to be with their family and make big money all at the same time without the sacrifice. With 13 plus years of being an entrepreneur and owning multiple six-figure businesses, Shayla has been honored with notable accolades, including the Prince George's Country Social Innovation Fund 40 Under 40 Award for contributions in business, Suzanne Evans Hell Yeah Award for six-figure year, and the Savvy Entrepreneur People's Choice Award. She juggles being an entrepreneur with being a wife of 19 years and the mom of 6 homeschooled children. Wow. All right. Well, thank you again for being here. And to start off, would you tell us a little bit about how you and your journey to taking the limits off of motherhood?
Absolutely. Thank you again. And as you read, I've been on this journey of entrepreneurship for 13 years or so, but as a mom for 19 years. And I had to take everything off and make this unlimited because going into motherhood for me was unexpected. You know, I was very young. I was 23 years old and I still had dreams. And I had to really say to myself, are we just going to sit in motherhood or are you still going to aspire to do the things that you desire? And I made a decision. I wanted to do both. I wasn't willing to sacrifice one for the other. I understood that there was power in doing both. And so I decided to be the mom I wanted to be, to go for the career that I desired. And when I went for the career, I had to decide again, it wasn't going to work. Actually, I started out in a very male-dominated field, construction engineering technology, only lasted in corporate for 3 years, decided it wasn't a fit for me. And I said, I'm going home, but we depended on 2 incomes in our household. So I had to make a decision. What are you going to do? We got 3 babies at this point. Babies need to be fed. Husband's working, doing what he can to support us. I decided to start a business and I just jumped right in. No plan, no support. I just said, I'm going to do business. Made money, but didn't understand business. And when I didn't understand the business, the money disappeared. Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. You can make $100,000, but if you spend 101, that leaves you broke. Mm-hmm. I found myself almost $100,000 in debt, filed for bankruptcy, disrupted the family, but I'm so faithful and glad that I have a stellar husband that stood beside me, although he was like, don't do that again. He stood beside me. And the only reason that this worked is because I was transparent. Mm-hmm. I shared my journey with him. I got my husband on board for what I was doing. And I had to learn how to really just honor the money that was coming my way. I had a really bad relationship with money. You know, I was used to things just being given to me. So money was given to me. I spent it. I didn't track it. I didn't acknowledge it. And so I had to learn to really restructure my relationship with money. Mm. And in restructuring that, I realized other women needed to do the same thing. So this not only was something I had to do, I was able to teach it to other women and teach it to my children. So now my legacy is impacted. And so when we talk about being unlimited, I understand now that I have potential to do whatever I want to do. It is unlimited. And the motherhood, it's always going to be a part of me. I never take it for granted. It's always there. And I do everything that I do is so that they can have the life that they deserve.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And actually that's one of the things that I found, I love that you said about changing that relationship with money and that concept of money. Because I definitely grew up in a home where there was always a sense of lack and always this sense of like, there wasn't enough and we needed to be careful and really be cautious, but I didn't really understand the money piece. And now as a coach, starting to get into this idea of abundance, and that mindset of abundance attracts more abundance. And I'm seeing pieces of that, but I'd love for you to talk about that transition, that healing of that story that you came in with.
Yeah. So when I went through the bankruptcy, I really had to look at what was my role. And so the big question I said is, Shayla, how did we get here? And it wasn't a case of, oh, you're not making enough money, but it was literally a case of you're investing in things, you're not being mindful, you're not sharing, and you don't look back to see what happened. Like every month, it was like, oh, we just move on to the next money, just make some more money, but not looking back at the history, not tracking it. And so when you ignore it, things can happen. That's the way life happens, right? Mm-hmm. One big lesson I learned is how did I approach money? My approach was every time something happens, my money disappears. And so it was like, you make it, somebody's going to break an arm. You make it, someone has to go and have some kind of procedure. You make it, the car is going to break down. So it was, I can't hold on to money because every time I get money, something happens. I had to spin that for myself. I said, what if your story was every time you have money, you have exactly what you need to take care of things that are around you? It was a softer way of dealing with money. So yes, things still happen in my life, but now I don't approach it from a place of, oh my God, not again. But instead it's, I have exactly what I need. Yeah. And so the money can stick around. It can stay with me energetically because I'm not mad at money anymore. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now it's a tool and it's available to me as I need it. Instead of it being the enemy of, money makes things happen. It's now money's here and it's always available.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah. Cause that's, it's kind of looking at it instead of like a victim, looking at it as the one who's in charge, like as instead of life is happening to me or the money or the lack thereof is happening to me. It's like taking the power back and saying, okay, I have what I need, having that faith that I will have what I need. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'll have what I need. And then what do I want to do with it? That's so much more powerful. Absolutely.
Much more powerful. And even in paying your bills. Paying your bills and being happy about paying your bills versus saying, oh, not another bill, or oh, not another this, or I can't believe how high the water bill is. It's wow, I'm so excited that I can pay my bills. I look forward to paying my bills now because it's a case of the money was always there. Remember, the money was always there. I just couldn't see it in a positive place. I saw it as a loss. Now I see it as a win.
Yeah. So what would you say to a woman who, or any men that are listening, who is feeling like the money isn't there? What do I do? The money isn't there. I feel like I definitely talked to a few women who are really in a place of freaking out because they don't feel like the money is there.
I have clients, and recently this year I had a client, when she came on with me, she was like, I don't have enough money. It was even down to how am I going to pay you? But everything she said about money was negative. It's, I don't have enough money. I can't get any money. I can't get clients. And we had to really start looking at, okay, I understand you feel like you're stretching. Stretching's normal and it feels awful sometimes. But if it's a case of I am so ready, Language is important to me. It's powerful. I am so ready to receive. I am open and available. And if you are energetically clean, that money can come your way. Now, it doesn't mean you just sit back and just say, no, you still have to be in action.
I'm all over that.
Right. You still have to be in action around it. So it's like they're saying, having faith without action, it doesn't work that way. But you can be in a good mental space and put action and intention around it, and you can attract what you need. So it means still going out and approaching people, trying to get the clients that you desire, but you're approaching them from a place of not being desperate, but from a place of service. Let me serve you. Let me take care of you. It's a natural thing for people to take care of you financially when you take care of them and not approach them of, I think I really want a client because I got to pay the bill. You're not going to get paid. Anytime you're desperate trying to get money, it's not going to come your way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and the energy to go out and get money and to go out and do the work isn't there. I found, like, the more stressed out, the more victimized I feel by money or whatever, then the harder it is. All I want to do is, like, nothing.
You want to hide, you want to hide, get in the bed, be mad.
Yeah.
But I go back to my why. And I always tell people your why has to be bigger than money. If your why is, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a 6-figure business owner, you can always give up. It's optional. But if your why is you made a promise to someone, something, some organization, something bigger than you got to follow through. So, for example, if you made a promise to an organization to be able to put one young lady through school each year, you're not going to sit back and say, oh, no, I'm not going to do it this year because they're waiting on you. Tell people what your why is. You will break through your own storm that you're going through. Even if it's a rough patch, you're going to say, but I made this promise. We're going to get this done.
Yeah. And connect it to your purpose.
Yeah.
Why are you here on this planet? What gifts do you have to share?
Absolutely.
Is absolutely where I go with what's motivated me to get out of my own stories about stuff is, what's my purpose? To be able to support other moms.
Yeah.
And living the life that they love and being free of that. So now you talked about, like, having that support and really getting your husband on board. Tell me more about, how did you find that? And we talk about, like, balance, and that word is kind of wonky for me, but tell me about how did you work that out with family? And
I'm glad you said the word balance is wonky, because I definitely do not teach balance. Everything's always teetering. And teetering is natural. But what I do know is communication is so valuable. We will often say, I can do it myself. Like, I'm a very independent person, and independence can get me in trouble sometimes, because it's like, oh, I'll handle it. And I don't ask for help until it's too late. And so I found with my husband, really sharing the journey, it started with, I want to do this, and here's how I'm going to do it. And of course, the natural question is, great, so how much is that going to cost? Great question. That's your first sales conversation. If you're selling, your first sales conversation starts in the home. If you can sell it to your partner or family, you can sell to anyone, because they're going to question you, hound you, do whatever. But you have to learn how to position it. You have to position your vision in a manner that it can be received. Not only is it so I can win, it's positioned so they can win. So I started positioning anything that I proposed in a way that they could see, and my partner could see, honey, if this is done, this is going to allow us to have more time together, or this will allow us to do this thing. Not, I just need some money. And even if the money's coming from my own pocket, we're still a family, we're a unit. I still share what I'm doing and what I'm investing. So the first time I had to share was a program that I purchased for $10,000. And I knew he was like, look, I'm a 9-to-5 guy. He was going to choke. So I said, hey, I joined this program. And I just said the name of the program. And eventually I was like, I don't know how to tell him how much money I spent on this program, but I need to share. I need to be a little bit more transparent. So I use a whiteboard in my office. I started putting up the conversations. I would put smiley faces for the number of people I spoke to. And every day I would start checking off. And then I would also track how much money I made from talking to this many people. I put a goal on the board. So he would see the goal. He saw the money coming from it. I'm like, oh, and I paid off my $10,000 program. He was like, really, he was excited, but he also saw the action beside it. And he says, it was great. I had to ease him in that way. Some people can just go straight for the gusto. Like if I had to ask him for the money, it would have been a different conversation. This was an investment I made. And I said, I'm going to tell him, but I'm going to show him through my action. And to this day, I keep all of my things that I'm working on a whiteboard. And he walks by. He's not tracking me. He's not my father. But he can see, wow, I see why she's busy. I see why she needs to travel. Wow, you know what? You're doing great. You should go to that conference. Or when are you going to another conference? It's no longer me asking. It's, when are you going to go?
Yeah.
You're doing so good. That's awesome. But he sees it. He sees, wow, you're ahead this year than you were more ahead this year than you were last year. Or you talked to 130 people this month. How'd you do that? And so when you're sharing the vision, and remember, we share the win, and then they see the action behind it, it's a natural place for them to say, you know what? I trust you. He's the one that pushes me out the door now. He's like, shouldn't you be going to that thing? Shouldn't you be doing that? I'm like, no, really, I don't want to. He said, yeah, I think you should go. Because he sees the win for the family.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I also, you said a key word that really stands out for me, and that is an investment. Because that really changed things for me, of seeing it, instead of I'm throwing money out at things, I'm just spending money. I'm going, woo, money.
Yeah.
So I had like unlimited amounts of it. I was seeing it as, this is an investment in the work of my life. This is an investment in my family. It's just recognizing that my spending is an investment, but doing it consciously.
Yes.
And mindfully, as you said, like that, those two words really stand out for me when it comes to money: investment and mindfully. And now my husband also, he goes like, if I get stressed out or stuff, he's like, so when are you going to call your coach? Like, when do you call? Like,
they're in a relationship too, right?
Yeah. Well, he recognizes the difference that it makes for me, and how I show up differently when I'm getting the support that I need. Because it's like, I do need support from him,
right,
and from other people. As the actions can be getting that support. So I love that you said those things.
Awesome. Yeah, and my husband's the same way. They can't fill every void for us. And he's like, look, I'm a 9-to-5er. I don't want to be the entrepreneur. That's why you hire other people to do that. And it took time for him to understand. He's like, wow, you invest every year in a new coach or a new mentor or someone. I'm like, yes, because I'll never be alone. Because I know, and he knows what it looked like when I did it alone. That's what led to the bankruptcy. But ever since I've had someone that I can speak to about it in a community, we've been great. So he's like, please keep a mentor or a coach. Who's your mentor this year? But it works. It's effective.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. So and I think this is going to tie in, but one of the things to talk about is like, supporting energy, and people, all moms want more energy. They're like, okay, that's great. Like, I'm exhausted. How could I possibly do more?
So that's a great one. Like I said, I'm a mom of 6 homeschool kids. So I understand being exhausted and needing energy. What I know for sure is when I really block out time, I honor myself more. If I'm going at it and I'm winging it, I wear myself out. So my children understand the blocks of times that I'm committed to being available 100% and not being distracted by business. I have a block of time that says self-care on my calendar, and everyone understands. I've trained them not to interrupt me during that time. I need to honor it. I don't care if I'm taking a nap, if I'm reading a book, if I'm standing outside. If I don't take care of me, I can't take care of them. And I've had to train my family to understand that. And also even creating the boundaries with clients, really saying, here's my availability. And if I don't respond, I will be available within, and give them a time frame. So you're not worried about you. They're not saying you didn't respond, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. Honor what your commitment is, but keep a good boundary around it. I set up my business so I honor my time. I don't do coaching after 6 p.m. I choose not to run my business at night. Some people may choose to do that, but that's a preference. So that means I have to get clients that will honor a daytime schedule. That means most of my clients probably aren't working a 9-to-5. they have more flexibility. They can speak to me during the daytime. So it's all about blocking and creating and structuring your business in a way that will support you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not creating it in a way so it supports everyone else's needs. It has to support your need. That way you won't be bitter and you can take care of people better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly one of the things I talked to the client about in terms of when are you at your best? Like, when are you most energized to go out? Well, maybe go and do the out stuff, the grocery shopping or stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do that in the morning when you're energized, or if you're a night person, do it then. So just know what your rhythm is, and choose those times consciously, like you're saying. But make sure you choose them. That's one of my big works too, is scheduling myself.
It takes discipline. It's like every Sunday, look at the week. What's going to happen this week? Mm-hmm. And some weeks I'm like, oh, I didn't put that down. And I can tell when I missed it. I'm like, oh my word, what happened today? I can tell when I just start doing other things and I didn't honor what I said I was going to do. I always pay the price for it. So that's important. And the other piece is when your money starts being consistent, being able to get additional support. Mm-hmm. So if that's someone 2 hours a week taking care of some things in the business, or if that's someone coming in the house and doing some cleaning one time a week, whatever those things are that you can be supported in, make sure that you humble yourself enough to be supported and not feel guilty about it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big one for me, of like asking for help with the housework. I'm like, we didn't do that when I was growing up.
No, not at all.
So is that wrong? Like, but yeah, absolutely. Asking for help is just so key. It's like knowing what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And part of that, I can handle this. I can do this. It doesn't mean that I can do it all by myself.
Right.
Talk about you can have it all without doing it all.
That's it. And I was used to doing it all, but
mm-hmm.
I have teenagers now and younger ones. And so teenagers, everyone has a role in the house. I used to be the chef. You didn't come in the kitchen. I was the chef. Now it's all of my bigger children know how to cook. They know how to do the grocery list. They know how to plan out the meals for the week. They do the cooking. And I'm like, oh, wow, I really don't do much cooking anymore. So my mother had to teach me that. She was like, they're not going to clean the way that you clean, but I need you to give up that piece and be okay with done is done.
Yeah.
And that was so big for me to just really let go, because I was like, well, they're not cleaning this and they're not doing this. And she was like, but you're wearing yourself out. So you need to choose. What do you want to do? Do you want to be burnt out, or do you want to be okay with done is done? I had to be okay with done is done. And it's been a lifesaver for me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit, you're talking about relationships and building the relationships with your kids. I mean, a lot of people who are listening probably have like little ones, but I'm hearing you talk about that. I'm thinking, yeah, that's what you have to do with like your partner too, of like, they may not do it the way you want it done. In my case, I don't do it the way my husband wants it done usually. So
right.
He's like, I have to load the dishwasher. No one else can do this because it's just right. Nobody else can do it. That's my one thing that I have to do myself. But that's my husband, not me.
Right.
But in terms of building those relationships, and I know you talk about like both the business relationships and the familial relationships. Mm-hmm. What's a tip that you can give for like really nurturing those relationships in your life?
Okay. So the big one, and I think this plays well for both the children and for your husband, honor the promise of the time that you say that you're going to give them. That is so key. It may seem simple. It may seem like, well, I'm just going to put it off a few more hours, or I'm just going to, get to it tomorrow. Honor what you say you're going to do. When you can honor your promises, they remember. When you don't, they remember. So it may be, I just want to tap this email out. I just want to get this one more graphic thing done. Stop what you're doing. It's going to be there. I promise you, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Step away. And I literally say, I'm closing shop. I have an office in my house. It's a garage that we built out. But I closed the door. I made sure my office had a door. And I say, it's closed. I'm going to do what I said I was going to. If I'm going to spend time with them before they go to bed, let me spend the time with them, put the phone down, which is hard. Don't check the emails because you'll get sucked in.
Oh
And
my gosh, it's
really,
that phone.
oh, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. But really honor that time. Like with my husband, we have so many people in our house. We have to schedule time to get out of the house and away from the people. You know, I love my little kids, but we know if we don't step away, we can't nurture us.
Yeah.
And, you know, we both will feel guilty before. And I'm like, you know what? These jokers going to leave us eventually. We have to nurture our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important. And your kids, you never want your children to feel bitter about your business. You know, you never want it to be said, well, you're always working. And if you weren't working, you wouldn't be able to do this. So this is why I say you have the freedom to be with your family and make big money all at the same time. Structure your business, your packages, your pricing, so that you don't have to work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was important for me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, and now as someone who has older children,
Mm-hmm.
what difference have you seen? Because, you know, we all want happy, healthy children, but it's hard to see that when we're in it, you know, am I doing the right thing? I mean, so much of this is a learning curve. It's like constantly changing. And so like, am I doing it right? And obviously everybody has a different way, but there's always that question. What have you seen from the things that you've mentioned of, you know, honoring your commitments and changing your mindset about money and about life and just into a more positive framework?
Yeah.
What difference have you seen?
Well, my teenagers are funny. They're always like, oh God, mom's going to coach us. You know, so if there's anything like my son that just went to college, if there's anything around money, I'm like, let's have a conversation. He's like, oh, I forgot who I was talking to. He's like, this is awful. But one of the best things he said to me was last week he went to school and he says, I said, let's project your money. You know, he has a job. I was like, let's project your money for the year and let's look at your expenses and let's create this thing. He said, did you just do a money freedom architect thing on me? I'm like, I did. He says, but man, this is so good. No one else is going to have this. And he can see his money and how he needs to plan. And it's in a fun way. And so I've made money fun for them. All of them know how to bring money in. They've gotten very creative. So I've created these mini entrepreneurs, and they may choose to work for someone else later, but I always tell them money exists. You can always get what you need. You don't have to be dependent on someone else to be able to survive. They can appreciate that from me. I'm sure they have fun talking about me though, because when they were very little, they would model. If I'm on the phone, they learned their address by listening to me on the phone. They learned their phone number that way. And so they would model, oh, hi, it's Shayla Boyd-Gill, blah, 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 the address is. And so they learned how to speak to people on the phone, but they also made lots of jokes about it. And they appreciate me. They tell me I'm a pretty good mom. And I don't know if that's just to make me feel good, but I think I'm okay. You know, I've definitely made mistakes. You know, the reason I really focus on the time is because at some point with my other businesses, I didn't spend enough time with them. I was a doula and a childbirth educator. That comes with an unpredictable schedule. And so I missed the birthday parties. You know, I was stuck at a hospital at a birth for 2 or 3 days. So it's a very different way of me doing business now, where I have control of my schedule versus someone else, a little baby, having control of my schedule. They value that. Mom's available again. You know, I was nurturing, taking care of them and taking care of other people, but it came at a cost. Mm-hmm. There was a price. And I really, at one point, I had to really humble myself and say, I'm good at it, but I need to let it go because my people need me more. Mm-hmm. And I did not want it to be said mom wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was one of the things that I found with the corporate job that I had. And it was a lot about me and what felt good for me, but also coming home stressed out all the time. And because I wasn't being present, even though I was at home, because I was tired, my hours, I was working more than 40 hours. And so I was just scrambling all the time. And so, being able, even whatever works for you, but being able to shift that space of it and honors with it, the commitments, but also I love what you said, because, you know, they're all going to take the baggage, whatever, they're going to get something, you know, like I've kind of been like, all right, you know, something that they have something to take from me to learn from, like, and it might not be what I want them to have to take from me, but it's going to be something. But what you said about them feeling unlimited, basically, you know, like not giving them the story of I can't, you know, shifting their story to this is going to be, ooh, this is cool. Let's see what can happen here. Like, this is going to be something interesting, and the possibilities, the limitlessness. No matter what I'm doing, if I can deliver that, if I can embody that, deliver that to my child, then they can go, you know what, I'm not going to choose what mom chose, but I can choose something else because I have unlimited potential. Yeah,
I see that with them too, being homeschooled, you know, they're just like, I can rule the world. You know, there are no limits, meaning I'm always like, oh, what are you interested in? Oh, go learn how to do that. Figure that out. And so I was like, gosh, if I was homeschooled when I was a kid, there's no telling where I would be today. But it's such a joy to be able to watch it, to watch the process. And even just learning that each of them learn differently. And I think about all the children that are in school. I think schools are phenomenal, but it's so many different learning personalities. That's why people get left behind, because you can't touch every single one of them. And even in my household, I'm like, oh my goodness, how do I teach this child? I'm an engineer, and I'm like, math comes easy. And someone else is like, oh gosh, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So it's great to see it. It's great to be able to live it with them and watch them grow. I mean, again, we are not a perfect family. I don't think perfect families exist. If anyone tells you they do, they're lying. But
we just have to reframe the perfect.
Yeah, we learn from each other. They teach me. They teach me. We learn from each other. I call my first child my beta child because I didn't know what I was doing at 23. But, you know, I was able to course correct and figure something out and say, let's try this instead. So it's all been learned. It's a learning. I'm forever learning. So
yeah, absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much. We are just about at our time. Just to recap, what are like 2-3 things that you would really want moms who are listening to take away from this interview?
Yeah. So, you know, for all my moms that are listening, especially if you want to have a business of your own, if you want to bring in some money on your own terms, number one is just really make the hard decision. Make the decision that you want it and get the family on board, the partner, you know, be transparent, show them what the win is. Remember, that's your first sell, and then just do it. Be consistent. Do it, be supported, invest in someone or a program so that you can shave off some of the time and get it done sooner, quicker, faster. That's it. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much. And I believe you have a free gift to share.
I do. So I love working with family-centered women entrepreneurs, and that's what you have here with Unlimited. Yep. So I really wanted to share with the moms my 7 pillars to building a lucrative and leveraged business. People always say, how do you do it? And how did you do it? So one of the first things I talk about is making the decision. That's one of my pillars. So I take you through all of the pillars, what it took for me to be able to do this, and what you can start. And you'll be able to identify where you are and what pillar you need to focus on. It's a video. It's not too long. And I think it'll be a joy for everyone to check it out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that gift and for being here today. As a reminder to everyone listening, the email that you were sent with this video also has a link that will connect you with the free gift. And that concludes this interview of Motherhood Unlimited. So thank you everyone for joining us, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for another exciting, inspirational, and helpful interview for Motherhood Unlimited. I look forward to having you with us. Take care. Bye.